In the early morning, this story begins, in a place of ever-changing dynamics, the sandbar of the Whangapoua Harbour, where the ever-flowing tides and surge of the waves at the tip of Matarangi beach meet in an age-old dance. Matarangi translates from the local Maori language Te Reo Maori to Eye of the Sky. It is with this thought that the sky opens the secrets of this ancient harbour. On the edge of the vast Pacific, this shelter is one of the cradles that nurtures an array of ocean life. It is here, between this spit of sand and the tip of rock, that the huge volume of 3 cubic kilometers of seawater flows and ebbs. In this transition from open sea to harbour, the creatures of this world must pass in all weathers, in all tides, to feed, to breed, to grow. The ever-changing sandbar slows the power of the open sea to protect the inner harbour. Wave energy reduces on the underwater sandhills created by the flow of tides, and it is these tides that deliver food to the open sea and a highway to the quiet waters beyond. The thousands of tons of sand that make up this protective bar are shaped and churned in an endless watery dance. Tides meet storm and calm at this place of change. The turmoil we see from above is but a minor issue to the inhabitants of this changeful microcosm between the sea and land. Life of all types has adapted to the calm and excesses of fury that nature provides. This shallow, warm space is the hunting ground of one of the top coastal predators, the bronze whaler. This shark is an opportunist. During the warmer months, they cruise the shallows of the bar and harbour entrance. The outgoing tides bring food from the inner harbour, while the breeding patterns of the vast schools of fish provide plenty of prey. The bronze whaler or copper shark is one of the requiem sharks. Found around the world in temperate waters, it is one of the larger shark species. Very slow growing, they don't mature for some 13 to 20 years. The sharks have been overfished and are regarded as vulnerable. This is due to their slow growth rate as populations take so long to replenish. They move to warmer waters during the colder months, but return to the same waters each year. From the guarded entrance, we now turn to the harbour proper. In the still morning at low tide, the channel branches show the path of the water's flow. The tidal sand flats are the food source and nurturing ground of life for thousands of species. Across the huge beds of shellfish, a vast array of life lives within the time frame of tidal flow. This is the true space where land meets sea. Fresh water melds with the salt sea, and plants have adapted to both environments. The dark green mangroves that edge the harbour are at the very reaches of their spread across the southern Pacific. This is the green line where the temperate warmth of the tropics ends. Forest reduction and pastoral farming has increased the flow of sediment into harbours, which favours the growth of these amazing trees. They act as a protector of the foreshore, a food source and safe haven for the young of hundreds of species. The many channels through this sea forest are a highway for native fingerlings to the fresh water streams that flow from the heavy bush beyond. These channels are the fingers where the sea reaches into the land, and this is where the land supplies nutrients for a vast array of its creatures. These are the places where land and sea are truly intertwined. The harbour is made up of 12 square kilometres of tidal area, where, while all joined, each play a distinct part in their role of feeding and nurturing the life that is dependent on this space between tidal rise and fall. And with the rise of the tide, the schools of fish drift up the channels and across the sand flats. This is where the eye in the sky gives a true insight into the lives of the harbour's creatures. In schools or small groups, the fish are bound by the tide's continuous cycle. Eagle rays, mullet, snapper, stingrays, and a host of others follow this pattern each day in all weathers. A true dance of nature plays out before us. This small school of mullet are moving in knee-deep crystal water to their feeding grounds in the upper harbour. The eagle ray is one of hundreds that are part of the ecosystem. In the emerald green of the just-turned incoming tide, a large school of porori or black snapper wait until their feeding grounds under the mangrove forests are covered in water. They feed right up into the far reaches of the harbour. This small group have followed the tide in and are nibbling on the mangrove stalks or risers. These risers give oxygen to the root system of the tree when the tide is low. The fish clean the risers of sea growth, allowing the oxygen to flow and enabling the root system to take nutrients back to the leaves. A sand flounder is disturbed by the group as they feed. The black spot on its upper side, just seen as it moves around the mangrove risers, then settles back to its camouflaged state. Here between the bar in the waves at the very edge of the beach, one of the huge schools of Kahawai are waiting. They have gathered for their trip across the sand flats with the tide. These schools are numbered in their thousands. The vast schools live in the open ocean and are a major food source for swordfish, marlin and tuna. There is still research to be done, but the likely reason is they gather here is to breed. Below us in the sun-dappled water, we see countless thousands of kahawai spread across the shallow harbour sand. The light, playing across the coloured sand, streaked by thousands of shadows, shows one of the secrets of life that this harbour embodies. At the end of their cycle, the great schools now have to return over the bar to the open ocean, Again, the sharks await them. Singly and in groups, the sharks cruise the bar as they wait. The ocean beyond the squeeze of the land is a sanctuary to be gained. Here in shallow, clear waters, this small group of bronze whalers slowly wander, waiting. One of them is dragging a fishing line that has snapped during the fight for freedom after being caught. The line has snagged some seaweed that will stay until the line wears away or the hook ends the shark's life. It is here where we leave this place, where the tide brings everlasting stories and change, where life begins and ends in a ritual older than the existence of humankind. With each tide, another story begins.